Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous. You just...
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here at Courageous Media. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. What a fantastic day we have today. God is good, and it's amazing. But we've got Jasmine Crockett crashing out again. This woman is just absolutely, to coin a phrase, deplorable. But welcome into the Courageous Media. Really appreciate you rolling up. Thanks so much for being here. Lynn Sanger in the house. Resnap in the house. Political fisherman here. So we've got Jasmine Crockett. If you haven't seen this, there's a part of me that can understand, at least now, in seeing what's going on, understand why there may have been some reticence on the part of Trump and the administration to simply release all of the Epstein files. Now, I'm going to go on record. I would much rather have all the Epstein files released and deal with this level of fallout than the opposite. I think transparency is always better. Truth always wins out. No matter what is hidden in secret, God will make known. And so the truth will always come out eventually. I say just release it earlier and get it over with. But I can understand why there might have been some reticence, because now you see this nonsense. This is the level of nonsense that the Democrats are going to engage in. They are going to try to take any innuendo, any shred of potential connection between Jeffrey Epstein, regardless of which Jeffrey Epstein we're talking about, and any Republican, and try to spin that into some sort of absurd narrative. However, what I don't think what they planned on, what they haven't accounted for, is that they no longer control the media. They only control the propaganda media. And even then, only to a certain extent, because the propaganda media, I think, has started to realize that they are on borrowed time, that they are no longer in control of the narrative, and that they are also now somewhat fearful of renewed lawsuits by Donald Trump. Donald Trump, who stuck CBS for 16, ABC for 16 million, CBS, ABC and CBS for multi-million-dollar lawsuits that have been settled. He's going after the BBC for upwards of $1 billion. CNN is walking a tightrope trying not to get sued. This is absolutely amazing stuff. So we're going to dive into this story. I wanted to play that clip. That was Jasmine Crockett on the House floor. I'm going to play the clip again because I want you to listen intently. Listen to how she phrases things and listen to the obvious intent behind this 30-second speech. Check this out.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous. You just... folks who...
So, 100%. This was not designed as a, hey, you know what? There are other people named Jeffrey Epstein. It wasn't slated as, hey, we should be careful. No. In a blatant attempt to protect Stacey Plaskett, who wasn't just accused of taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. No. Stacey Plaskett was guilty of colluding with the Jeffrey Epstein over text messages to try to destroy Donald Trump, who Jeffrey Epstein despises, by the way, who has no relationship with Donald Trump beyond a couple of pictures together. So Jasmine Crockett takes to the House floor to try to smear great people like Lee Zeldin, along with losers like Mitt Romney, but anybody with an R by their name, in an attempt to try to convince you that the Republicans are all guilty of the same type of behavior that Stacey Plaskett was guilty of. Well, Lee Zeldin was having none of that nonsense. Now, want you to check this out, because here is Lee Zeldin appearing on the PBD podcast, where he was asked about this Jasmine Crockett, ghetto Jasmine, where he was asked about uh, Ghetto Jasmine's diatribe on the House floor. Check this out.
I contact a couple people on the team, and I'm like, "All right, can you just confirm this for me? Because I'm pretty sure that Jeffrey Epstein never donated to us." And you could search it. She said that it's a 20-minute Google search, whatever. It comes up so fast, and it says occupation physician. That Jeffrey Epstein that she's talking about obviously is not a physician. And then you look at the date. And talking about like common sense, head scratching, the date of the donation is after that Jeffrey Epstein was dead.
Stop it. That I didn't know.
Yes.
He
The donation came in after that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't even alive anymore.
Wow. Okay, there you go. April 2020.
So we've got Jasmine Crockett has her staff go and Google, hey, find anybody named Jeffrey Epstein that donated to a Republican so that I can go on the House floor and just raise holy hell. Well, they did. And they didn't bother to do any follow-up work. Not that they wanted to. Realize that was never the intent. The intent was never to find out if the Jeffrey Epstein donated to Lee Zeldin or disgusting corruptocrat Mitt Romney or the NRCC or anybody else. No. It was to simply find a Jeffrey Epstein so that she could go to the House floor and create this immediate disinformation, misinformation campaign that creates a smear in the public eye. It's the entire wrap-up smear that Nancy Pelosi discussed and utilized to perfection during her time as the insider trading corruptocrat in charge of Congress. Remember, she described the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody, then you leak that smear to the press. Then the press reports on the leaked smear. Then you go back and basically report on the press reporting on the smear in order to make it sound credible. It's just absolutely egregious. So they're trying that playbook again. Let's egregiously smear someone like Lee Zeldin with absolutely false information. Maybe we can get the media to report on the smear, and then we can report the media's reporting on the smear as some level of investigation, or hey, the media has said. But Lee Zeldin immediately debunked it. It wasn't the Jeffrey Epstein. It was a doctor named Jeffrey Epstein, and it was done even after Epstein's death. So it's so easily debunked as to be laughable. Well, CNN, this is so bad that CNN had to actually call out ghetto Jasmine Crockett on this nonsense. So check this out from CNN, from none other than Caitlin Clark. This is absolutely amazing. So as we dive into that, I really appreciate everybody rolling up. Please smash that like button for me. Subscribe, turn on the notifications. Thanks everybody for being here. Resnap, Lynn Sanger in the house, Political Fisherman, Eric Smith is here. Oh, fantastic. Great to have you with us. Shout out. That's right. Jasmine Crockett is ghetto AF. Exactly. Really appreciate everybody being here. Democrats keep saying that Trump knew about Epstein and didn't do anything about it. But the truth is, everyone in government knew about Epstein. Exactly. This goes back to the fact that Epstein was working with intelligence at some level. Are we ever going to know at what level? No, because I believe, this is my personal belief, that all of the real Jeffrey Epstein files have been destroyed. The real Jeffrey Epstein evidence. When I think, to her credit, that when Pam Bondi said, hey, we're going to release all the Epstein files, and this was all leading up to them getting in office. And then even in office, I got the Epstein files. I think after they actually did a deep dive, they realized this is a hollowed out husk. The actual evidence, all of the actual information has been deleted, has been destroyed, has been scrubbed wherever they could from the record, because I think they realized that the Democrats being, that if this ever actually got out, that not just foreign governments, but essentially world governments, including the US, were run by, pederasts, I think the world there would be open revolt. It would be absolutely ridiculous. And there's no way that the CIA was going to let that tarnish their already tarnished reputation. But it is clear that Epstein was working at some level with the CIA, with Mossad, with MI6. There were intelligence connections to him that go way beyond, coincidental. So anyway, let's dive in, because even CNN was like, no, we cannot, we're not going to be privy to this. We don't want to get sued out of business into oblivion by Trump. So even CNN had to call BS on Ghetto Jasmine. Check this out.
Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that you
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said A Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least.
The connotation on the floor of the House was that Jeffrey Epstein was connected to all these people, because it wasn't a Jeffrey Epstein that you were trying to defend Stacey Plaskett of. She was involved, not just getting a donation from the Jeffrey Epstein. She was texting the Jeffrey Epstein. She was colluding with the Jeffrey Epstein in order to try to take down Trump. She was deeply involved with the Jeffrey Epstein. She is the delegate from the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is essentially a quasi-narco state as a territory of the United States. It is where rampant money laundering and drug trafficking take place. And Stacey Plaskett is connected to all of that, and connected in a way that none of these other people were connected with Jeffrey Epstein. No. You took to the House floor, Jasmine Crockett, in order to try to defame people and to create a smear between them and Epstein in order to try to defend Stacey Plaskett. This is absolutely egregious. Jasmine Crockett is disgusting. Jasmine Crockett is absolutely disingenuous and deplorable. All right, here we go.
Don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says, is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search.
Because that was never the goal. The goal was to find a Jeffrey Epstein connected to any of these people so that she could, give her diatribe from the House floor. This was absolutely egregious. Now, personally, what I think Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who donated to Lee Zeldin, should sue Jasmine Crockett for defamation and for slander, sue her into oblivion. Basically for essentially saying that he was the Jeffrey Epstein by innuendo on the House floor. I think he should sue her ad infinitum. I think Lee Zeldin should sue her. I think Mitt Romney, as big as disgusting corruptocrat as he is, he should sue her. This is absolutely ridiculous. This was 100% intended to mislead the American public. It was 100% intended to create a smear. And even CNN sees through this crap. Meanwhile, it's Jasmine Crockett who should really be worried about campaign donations. Now realize, the issue with Stacey Plaskett was never that she received campaign donations from Jeffrey Epstein. No. It's that she received money directly from Jeffrey Epstein to her personal self, and that she was texting Jeffrey Epstein during closed committee hearings about Donald Trump. Stacey Plaskett should have been censured. She should have been removed from all committees. She should be removed. If Mike Johnson had any balls, he would remove her from Congress altogether. He would basically vacate her seat. And I have to go back and look at what power the speaker and the majority party have to essentially unseat somebody and either reforce an election or something else. But they should take major action against Stacey Plaskett. And if that means that there's action taken against Corey Mills, fine. Stop this quid pro quo nonsense that's been going on in Congress for forever. Meanwhile, let's get back to this. Meanwhile, it's Jasmine Crockett who should be worried about donation problems, because although it's not Jeffrey Epstein, she has now been credibly accused of FEC violations under donations she received through ActBlue. Check this out from Sheldon Daniels, where he essentially exposes this. Here we go.
All right, guys. So I'm about to go to Randy Best's house, introduce myself, and just ask them straight up if they contributed to Jasmine's campaign, if they contributed that amount, and why they like her so much, because I might be able to learn a little bit of something while I'm up here. I'm way up here in Collin County. I'm in Plano, Texas, very far from TX30. It's very peculiar that somebody up here would give that much money to a candidate in our district. Maybe they have a special connection to the district. Let's go find out. I'm not going to film them. I'm not going to put any faces or anything. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So he's going up to Collin. I want to show you the donation.
You can leave this. So,
okay. Let's pause it there. So this couple gave $16,000 to Jasmine Crockett. They do not live in her district, and they are retired. They are on a fixed income. And according to ActBlue, they gave Jasmine Crockett $16,000 over the course of like 200 donations. Now, they have denied this. This is not them doing. This is more fraud on the part of ActBlue. And so Jasmine Crockett is now under FEC, Federal Election Commission investigation. So it's Jasmine Crockett that should really be careful in this whole situation, because frankly, her and any other ActBlue Democrat who received laundered money donations like this should probably go to prison. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hey, really appreciate you guys rolling up. Thanks so much for being here. I got one more story that I want to cover. And absolutely, Eric, ActBlue is 100% shady, and so is Jasmine Crockett. But anyway, let's dive in, because we've got big goings on in Charlotte, North Carolina. Purple state, North Carolina, Charlotte, big deep blue city, has been the target of an ICE surge, and you've got to check this stuff out. So let's dive into this. Again, I really appreciate everybody rolling up. Please smash that like button, subscribe. If you like the content, please share Courageous Media with everybody that you know. Here we go.
Trump's immigration enforcement crackdown is hitting full throttle in Charlotte, North Carolina. Fox News rode along with Border Patrol as they carried out Operation Charlotte's Web. Agents rounded up hundreds of people in the U.S. illegally. Listen.
We're still out on the streets here of Charlotte. We're still taking it to the bad guys. And regardless of this violent vitriol that you see here in Charlotte, we're really taking it to the bad guys. 275 apprehensions. We'll be at about 300 by this time tomorrow morning. And as you say, there's no stopping.
All right, Madison Scarpino is there in Charlotte with all the details for us. Good morning, Madison.
Good morning, Jillian. That's day 6 of this massive immigration crackdown. And yesterday we got the chance to go inside of the operation. We went around with several Border Patrol agents all across Charlotte, and almost immediately agitators arrived.
I hope you all kill yourself.
People were also honking their horns, blowing whistles, cussing at agents. But Assistant Chief Patrol Agent David Kim says it's not stopping their mission.
Border Patrol's been doing this for 101 years, and we've got quite a bit of experience knowing what to look for, where to look for it. We've been highly successful so far.
At first, everyone Border Patrol was checking turned out to be in the country legally. But not long after pulling into a shopping center, 2 men start sprinting in the parking lot. This led to a chase both by foot and car. One of the guys got away, but the other caught. Border Patrol says this man from Mexico admitted to being in the country illegally and was added to the hundreds of people arrested so far. And while the operation has a lot of support, it's making many Charlotte community members angry. People are protesting every day. They claim
Making many people angry in Charlotte. I don't care. I don't care. Make them angry. It is time for mass deportations. But the effect that this is having on Charlotte makes you wonder just how many illegal aliens are in the country. Now, Benny Johnson had a great piece, had a great opening piece on this. I want to dive into that. But before we do, please smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Welcome to Courageous Media. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Eric Smith, Lynn Sager, you guys are crazy. Yes, no one wants to see Jasmine Crockett without pants. Absolutely not. That is just not something I ever want to see. So this is crazy. All right, let's dive into Benny Johnson.
Any idea how good your life could be with mass deportations? So many of the concurrent issues that we face today in this country are because our idiot leaders from both sides decided to flood our nation with 150 new aliens. I'm just going to call them aliens because they weren't born here. They're not from here. They're not often congruent with our culture. It makes for zero homogeneity, zero trust society, and it creates fractures in systems that were never designed to accommodate this kind of spike in foreign-born populations that's happening across this country. And all of the problems that are occurring concurrently right now in this nation could be ameliorated with mass deportations, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about that today on the show because it's something that is critically important to every facet of.
He's 100% correct. There are so many problems in this country that we can eliminate by simply getting rid of all of the illegal aliens. And frankly, by really significantly ratcheting down legal immigration as well. Get rid of the HB1 program, deport all of the illegal aliens, whether they came across the southern border, the northern border, or whether they overstayed a visa. Get rid of all of them. You will significantly change budget constraints at the state level. You will significantly raise wages all over America. You will significantly improve the economy. And I'm going to prove that to you. All right, let's keep going.
Society. Everything that you think is wrong with society directly correlates back to approximately 40 years ago in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan deciding that the first amnesty, because of his liberal wife and her bleeding heart Hollywood friends, Ronald Reagan in the late stages of dementia, which is true, was manipulated by Nancy Reagan to give the first mass amnesty that turned California blue forever and opened the floodgates. And now we are living inside of a system where there is no more Democrat Party. There is simply the party of the third world.
100%. What Reagan did was an egregious mistake. Why he did it, I mean, what was going on behind the scenes, I have no idea, but he never, ever should have agreed to that. He should have fought tooth and nail to get rid of all those illegal aliens. Never. And that led to amnesty after amnesty after amnesty. And now what we have is the Democrat Party is no longer the party of the American working man. No. The Democrat Party is the party of essentially three things. They are the party of the third world, as Benny said. They are the party of the globalist cabal of corruptocrats that want to import the third world, destroy America, and simply make the oligarchs more wealthy. And they are the party of the communists and the socialists, which are designed to destroy all of Western civilization. The party of the atheists, the party of the materialists, the party of the anti-God, the anti-Christian God party. Those are the three legs of their stool. Make no mistake. Benny is absolutely right. Now check this out from Charlotte, because if this story is indicative of anything that's going on in Charlotte or any other city, it makes you wonder just how many illegals are there in the country? Because I think it could be a lot more than 20 plus million. Check this out.
Typically has 16 students in it. We had 4.
District-wide, there are 145,030 students enrolled in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. On Monday, 30,399 were absent, 28,136 unexcused. While CMS doesn't break down the numbers by ethnic origin, Gillespie, a multilingual teacher, did.
Children of parents from Angola, from Vietnam, but the students whose parents come from Latin American countries were the students we were missing. So that was kind of the line, even among the ML students, is that we were missing Hispanic student class.
So he was missing basically 3/4 of his class, and they were all from south of the border. And so therefore the not so great leap, in conclusion is that they were here illegally. Their parents were here illegally. This is absolutely ridiculous. 3/4 of the school system. Just lets you know that our school system is being bogged down. It's being weighed down by illegal immigrants who basically cost our federal government money, because the federal government sends those school districts money for every student they have in the classroom, whether that student is here legally or not. They get a government check. And so the schools are more than happy to take in all of these illegal alien children because they get money from the government. But when you think about 3/4 of them could be gone, how many illegal aliens are there in America? It's absolutely crazy. Now, the thing is, the mass deportations, the combination of Trump's mass deportations and tariffs are having a major effect. And it's a good effect. As Benny said, you have no idea what life could be like under mass deportations. Well, we're getting a little bit of a taste of it. Check this out. Breaking. In a jaw-dropping win, 2.5 million native-born Americans have gained a job under President Trump's administration. Over 1 million migrants have lost employment. In total, 1.23 million foreigners have left the workforce big time. Now, remember, all of the doom and gloomers that say, oh, this is going to crash the economy. They contribute to the economy. They pay taxes, blah, 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 blah. Well, as it turns out, the economy is doing just fine. In fact, it's doing great in light of the tariffs and mass deportations. Check this out. So if what's happening in Charlotte is any indication, I say more of it. More. Here we go.
A second point, we've been talking about this 4% growth that we've seen in the U.S. economy over the last 6 months. I want to contrast that with what's happening in the rest of the world, where look at Europe is flatlined, Japan is flatlined, China's in a mini depression right now. It's pretty incredible. We're carrying the rest of the world on our shoulders, which is because of what Trump is doing. And the rest of the world has to follow his lead of lowering taxes, lowering spending, deregulating their economies.
Now, remember when Barack Obama was in office and growth slowed to under 3%. It was in the 2s. And they basically said, get ready for this is the new normal. we're not going to grow as much as we've been growing before. The American economy is going to start contracting because we're a global economy. They were at the heart of destroying the US economic engine, and Trump is revitalizing it. We are now, once again, remember when they told you under Biden and at the end of the Obama that anything like 3% growth was massive. No. Trump's already got it growing at 4%, and we haven't even gotten interest rate reductions from the ridiculous Fed. We haven't even really gotten the 20 trillion in investment that's started. It's just now starting to kick in. We don't have the benefits of de-weighing the economy from all of the illegal immigrants and aliens that have been basically a giant boat anchor around it. Now, and so it's phenomenal, growing at 4%. Here's a follow-up to that, talking about unemployment rates and growth.
This is the September jobs report. Non-farm payrolls are up a robust 119,000. 119,000 would be the best since April when we were up 158,000. If we look at labor force participation rate, it ticked up. That's a good thing. 62.4 equals where we were in May. You have to go to April of this year when it was 62.6 to find a higher number. If we look at the hours worked, and this is always important, it remains at 34.2. To find a lower number, you're going to January when it was 34.1. We have initial jobless claims. This is for the week of November 15th. As I said, there's weeks missing. We're expecting 227,000. Comes in at 220,000. These numbers do not reflect nervousness in the labor market. They've been very well behaved. 220,000.
In other words, the economy is starting to roll. Trump's economy is starting to roll, and it's rolling because of deregulation. It's rolling because of tariffs, and it's rolling because of the things that are happening in places like Charlotte, where we are getting rid of the illegal aliens who have frankly been a boat anchor around the economy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are awesome. Please smash that like button, subscribe. If you like this channel, please share Courageous Media with everybody that you know. It really helps the channel out. If you watch our videos through to the end, each and every one that we post every day, that you comment on them, that you like them, and that you share them. And if you really want to support the channel, please consider joining us as a member of the Courageous Army on YouTube. Smash that join button. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Remember, God is good and he is sovereign. It'll all be good in the end. Until I catch you next time.